Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm taking a quick detour from my normal movie reviews. I've been known to do this every now and then when an album piques my interest and enough to want to, say something about it on the YouTube channel. Today I'm coming at you to do a brief album review of Pennywise's most recent album by the name of Never Gonna Die, and this is something that unfortunately I didn't find out about until just, I don't know, early this year, but this actually came out, I want to say like I don't know, March or April of 2018. And I mean, this is kind of big news for Pennywise fans because it's a return of Jim Lindberg, of course, on vocals. Last time we had well, of course they did the album Yesterday's. Was that 2014 or 15? I don't know. I did a review. That might have been my last album review that I did. I just streamed, all the tracks on YouTube on the Epitaph channel, and didn't really like that album enough to buy it, so I never bought that one. But this is the first time an actually, newly written, presumably, material recorded with, the actual Pennywise vocalist Jim Lindberg since the 2008's. Reason to Believe, which was, of all labels, released by MySpace Records. That'll show you how old this particular album was. But at the up until the release, this was from 2008, so it was exactly 10 years of basically Jim Lindberg. He of course departed, I think, in 2009 or whatever, the group, and then I don't know if it was 2012 or whatever, Pennywise put out an album with this other guy from some other band doing vocals. And I got that and I didn't hate it. I thought it was, it was definitely listened toable and stuff. And then, I don't know if it was 2014 or whenever the hell Lindberg returned, and they did, Yesterday's, from what I understand, was mostly just old songs recorded or something like that. And at the time I was like, well, it would be, it's great that Jim's back, but it would have been nice to have like new material. Well, we have it right here, and new Pennywise for 2018. They don't have the numbers on there. I don't know how many tracks it is. It might be 13 or something like that. It should be said that you can stream all these tracks on Epitaph's, that's the record label, official YouTube channel. So you can listen to the whole thing for absolutely free. And I listened to, I think, the first 5 tracks, and I was sold. I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy me this, because it's actually really, really exciting after 10 years to actually have a new Pennywise album with actually Jim Lindberg back. And I'm not gonna do a track by track review. I'll just simply say that, wow, this guy's like in his early 50s, probably 52 or something when they recorded this. He sounds like exactly the same. This sounds like, and for you people who might be afraid, like 10 years later, Pennywise 10 years later, oh my gosh, this sounds like late 90s, early 2000s. This sounds like classic Pennywise we all know and love. I'm just going to keep it simple and not do a track by track breakdown or whatever. I will simply say that, I mean, even though he's probably like 52 when he's laying down these vocals, I mean, he doesn't sound like any different. It's classic Jim Lindberg. It's really, really, really exciting 10 years later to have this album, and I would highly, highly, highly recommend it for Pennywise fans or people who are looking to get into like skater punk rock kind of music. I mean, there's this whole crap going on about punk's dead, or rock's dead, or whatever the hell's going on. I don't really keep up with it so much, but this album right here should be a solid indicator that punk is definitely not dead. It's so exciting to see him returning to the band and then putting out some new material. And it's just really, really cool. This CD was like in my vehicle for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, just non-stop after I got it. It's one of those kind of albums that'll just stay in your, if you've still got a CD player in your vehicle, it'll stay in your CD player in your vehicle for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. It did in mine, so it's something that, if I were to do like a rating out of 4 stars, I'd probably give this thing 4 stars out of 4 stars rating. I mean, it's that exciting to have. Like I say, it's the 90s, or mid to late 90s Pennywise feel, early 2000s Pennywise feel. To have Jim back is just, I can't express enough how exciting it is. to have them back. And yes, I mean, obviously, you know, a lot of people, you might say, well, are they doing something new? Is it a new sound? Are they treading new ground? Well, I guess not necessarily, but I mean, you know, there's two different minds of, you know, thought about that. I mean, it's like, well, what would you rather something, you know, be? Like something changed completely different from a band that you love to a sound that is new and, you know, it doesn't sound anything like the old band. I mean, this is, you know, in my opinion, it's you know, I'd rather just have a band sounding, oh my God, I can do this. I'd rather just have a band relatively or more or less just stay like this classic sound that they're known for, rather than trying to branch off into some Linkin Park, like completely becoming something that they didn't even, you know, as something completely different from what they started out as. I mean, it's all a matter of opinion, but my particular opinion is this is just a classic case of a relatively new, you know, album that's, you know, sounding exactly like the, you know, the skater punk rock kind of stuff that, you know, we love from the 90s and the early 2000s and stuff. So if you haven't heard this, like I say, it's free to do so here on YouTube. Epitaph's own, I would just type own YouTube channel. I would just type Pennywise Never Gonna Die, and all the playlist or whatever will probably pop up. But feel free to let me know what you think in the comments if you've got this album, or if you're a Pennywise fan and are on the fence about it or whatever. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. Definitely, in closing, definitely exciting once again to have this album out, and it's kind of a bummer that you know, it took me almost a year to realize that this was out, but regardless, I've got it now, and it's, like I said, it's been in the vehicle, or it had been in the vehicle for weeks and weeks, and wow. I'm going on and on because it's just kind of exciting. I mean, 10 years later to have a return of Jim and the band and the classic sound, it's like no time had passed, you know. It's really, 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 really cool. So thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.